Thank you very much, Marco. It's great to speak to everybody. I'm really sad not to be at the NOAH because I really love that conference so much, and really happy to speak to you today.
Ciao.
Uh,
Yeah.
what I want to introduce to you today is a little bit around Climate Partner, our why, how, and what we are actually doing to change things and to move climate action forward. A quick snapshot, maybe, to let you know what we at Climate Partner have been doing the past 15 years. So we've been around for a long time, similar to what Renat was telling before. We were one of the pioneers in taking climate action for businesses. In the meantime, we're working with more than 4,000 clients, and ourselves are more than 300 experts actually working with these clients with digital solutions. So we make it easy for businesses to take climate action. We're internationally set up in more than 9 countries in Europe, and just now newly the US. So I'm speaking to you from Boston at the moment. And we typically work with companies to set science-based targets, enable them to take steps with green energy, and so much more than just simply offsetting their carbon emissions. But I'll let you know how we get there. And what's more, we want to get climate action into products, which is why we have developed a label, and I'll show you how that works in a bit. But first, I'd like to start with why. Why are we actually doing this? So we say we're not just taking climate action as a topic for itself. What we want to actually do is we want to improve lives across the globe. And we're doing this today already because we're supporting more than hundreds of different carbon offset projects that not only generate carbon credits that can be used to offset emissions of businesses in the Northern Hemisphere, for example. No, we're actually enforcing these projects because they're actually social development projects. We're improving livelihoods of people in the poorest regions in this world by supporting these projects. And that's why we're actually behind this. Secondly, why are we improving lives? Well, we're improving lives of our children. This is my daughter 2 years ago in Munich when we were on our way to the climate strike there. And this is also what we want to guarantee, is to make sure that our children can lead a wonderful life like we can today. But it's not only about us humans, it's also about biodiversity and preserving wildlife and making sure that animals and flora and fauna can actually thrive and continue to live as they do today, because at the moment we're seeing hundreds of species going extinct on a daily basis. Completely mind-boggling number. Secondly, I'd like to reach out on how we actually do this. Well, we enable businesses to take climate action. That's our channel of how to actually connect these carbon offset projects with businesses and what they're doing in order to move forward on taking climate action. And these are our 5 magical steps of how we can actually help businesses to take climate action seriously, from carbon footprinting a business, through carbon footprinting their products, which can be done based on software solutions in a very feasible and easily accessible way. Then comes actually the big marathon, and that's something that has to be started straight away, but continues on, and that's reducing carbon emissions. The most difficult part of taking climate action is continuously reducing carbon emissions, incorporating more and more technology so this can actually be done. Step 4 is then to offset these emissions, and offsetting emissions that you cannot avoid anymore. That's always what we're talking about. Very important is to set yourselves goals and to move forward, reducing emissions, but what cannot be avoided can be offset, and then a business or a product can become carbon neutral. Yes, and we also support around communicating what a company is actually doing with their climate action strategy, which incorporates all these 5 steps, because it's very important to be transparent on these climate action steps that are being taken, so that it is believable and actually all stakeholders actually know what businesses are doing. Here's just a snapshot of all different kinds of businesses that we work with. The main thing, and that's what we're really proud of, we work with small businesses all the way to the largest corporates in the world. So we actually have a customer that sells candied almonds at the Oktoberfest, and all the way up to a company like Nestle, the largest food producer in the world, or an orthodontist in the Netherlands, all the way up to About You, companies of all different sizes, all different industries, and we have action solutions for each and every one of them. Important is we've started developing software a very long time ago, more than 10 years ago, because we saw that it is necessary to make the thing that is painful, namely actually calculating carbon emissions, make it easy and feasible and efficient. So we started developing software to do this, to support this along the way and make it much more easy and digital to access. But that having said that, we combine this in a kind of hybrid solution with many experts. Like I said, more than 300 experts in the meantime that support businesses on their journey, because this is actually what we're looking at and what we need to be doing. This curve that Renat was actually talking about before is, how do I reduce these carbon emissions? Because at the beginning, we have to see how high are my emissions, how can we move forward? But every step of the way, we need to set our net zero goals to by when do we want to be net zero? How do we get there? What are the measures that we need to take to reduce these carbon emissions? But we need to be climate neutral now, meaning the emissions we cannot avoid today, we need to offset these straight away. And this is how we actually combine this software solutions along all these 5 steps with experts to help companies get there. When we're talking about the offsetting side, we develop projects all across the globe, especially the global south, in different technologies, from renewable energies to nature-based solutions. I love the social impact projects, making clean drinking water accessible for communities that have no access to clean drinking water. And this we do in an array of projects, like I said, across the world. This is where we actually have this impact. We're actually improving lives today. And finally, the what are we actually doing? We are, and this is what we give ourselves as a vision, as a what vision. We want a carbon neutral product in every shopping cart. Now, why is that the case? I defined what we mean by carbon neutral already, meaning companies measuring their carbon footprint, doing everything they can to reduce this carbon footprint, and offsetting residual emissions that cannot be avoided at the moment. But why do we want that in a shopping cart? Well, here is an example of Nestle Wagner pizzas, piccolinis. And what Nestle is doing is they have set themselves a net zero goal. They want to be in line with a net zero by the end of, or by 2045, 2050. And they want to reduce their carbon emissions by 50% by 2030 already. And they're backing this by a lot of money and investment to reduce their carbon emissions. And they're saying, if I want a carbon neutral product out there, I have to at least prove that I've reduced this carbon emissions by 20% before I offset it. And then I label this product, because behind this label, there's transparency. I can see how many carbon emissions were actually emitted for this product, who's behind it, what am I doing to reduce my carbon emissions, so that I can actually get this product with the lowest carbon emissions out there before I offset it. And then I can see which carbon offset project is being supported by it. So this label makes it very transparent on what the company is actually doing in taking climate action. But what's more, it enables consumers to make wise choices. So our vision is to say that we as consumers typically don't have much choice of what to do around taking climate action, other than not doing something, like not flying, not driving a car, not being allowed to eat meat anymore. So this is very difficult for human beings. But if I have products out there that are sustainably produced and are produced with less climate change impact, and I actually label this product and show the consumers what's actually behind it, then I have a choice to consume less, consume more consciously, but consume a carbon neutral product. And that's why we want this label on there, because that drives action for businesses as well. So have a look out for this label, because this is the label that creates the strongest transparency in climate action in products out there, in our opinion. And why are we speaking here actually? Well, we also think about with whom. At the moment, we see that this traction is growing like crazy. There are so many companies out there that want to take climate action. We're enabling them to do so, but especially what we need to do is ramp up on the upstream area in developing more and more carbon action projects and carbon offset projects. And for this, we need support on financing these and pre-financing these projects. So if you feel like supporting us on our further journey for the journey of our customers, I'm happy to speak with you. Thanks a lot for having me, Marco. Have a great conference, and goodbye from Boston.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.